to get started, folks.
Washington's 106.7 WJFK. Here starts Ron and Fez.
Okay, good. You're in for that, right?
Ron and Fez.
Buddies, it's the Ron and Fez show. I'm Ron. There's Fez.
Hiya, buddies.
About to get this show started tonight. A little later on, we'll be going to the Ron and Fez War Room, checking up and seeing what the latest news is there. But, Fezzy, I just heard a story in the hall. I didn't comment on it. I want him to come in and tell you. It's our intern, Harry Elvis.
All right.
And maybe we'll play a little bit of radio psychiatry here because
okay.
Maybe I had an easier life than most people. I don't know. I never had this problem. Go ahead, Harry.
I can only imagine. Go ahead, Harry Elvis.
Tell me the story that you were saying about your mom.
This weekend, my friend Vanessa came over, to hang out.
Oh, he likes Vanessa. I know this much.
Yeah. And, I want to impress her and, all that. The last thing I want to do is be embarrassed. But my mother is standing there, first of all, in her bra and panties, just talking to Vanessa like nothing.
Now, is this someone that she knows very well?
Yeah, Vanessa's been over like a bunch of times, so, they're friendly. But it's still, I still don't think it's...
How did your friend feel? Odd?
The great thing about her, she's not going to mention it in front of her, but I'm like, does that bother her? She goes, a little bit, but I guess it's all right.
You think, and what else does she do? Because you think that would be enough, but go ahead.
No.
There's more?
Yeah. While she's just having the conversation, she's in the bathroom or whatever, she just starts taking off her bra and panties. Like, just while she's having the conversation, like nothing.
Oh, my gosh.
Like she's taking off her wristwatch. That's the way she's... and just standing there, just gabbing away. I see this. I have to almost tackle Vanessa out of the way just to get her away from there.
What did you say to your mom?
I go, what is wrong with you? I just start shouting. She goes, what? Like nothing. Just standing there like, what's the problem? I don't understand what's going on.
Now, does your mom act like this a lot?
She does that. She doesn't do it around just strangers, but for some reason around...
Not the mall.
What about you?
She walks around in her bra and panties occasionally, but not that she's just walking around. It's just like when she's coming in and out of the shower. And we've asked her to stop. We've made requests that she...
I can't imagine, Fez. I can't imagine your mom being naked. Have you seen your mom naked?
Because, she has no problem with it. And we're like, can you close...
Do you see her naked or not? First you're saying it doesn't happen a lot, but
it doesn't happen a lot, but when she's going to the bathroom or whatever, there's times where I walked in on her because she leaves the door open.
Wide open?
Wide open, and she's just on the bowl.
I find this odd.
Just sitting there, just on the bowl or whatever, with the door open.
How old's your mom?
She's now, I think, about 47.
Look her?
She's my mom. She's in good shape.
All right, if she wasn't
the best.
If she wasn't your mom, would you like to see her naked?
No. She's not horrifically, she's in decent shape.
Does she have the same weight challenge that you do?
No, not at all.
Putting it politely.
No, she's thin.
Smaller breasts than you.
She'd have to.
No.
Unless she got that job.
No, Mom.
I can't imagine.
And we've, again, asked her to stop, like at night. I don't know how many times I've been scared.
Did you say it seriously? Like, Mom, you're naked too much in the house?
She then, on another occasion, she did it again, and then, this time she was going to the bathroom with the door open. And
that's stranger than even being a nudist.
And then she goes, and then she tries to close the door, and I just kick the door right back open, and I go, it's too effing late now.
So you can keep looking at her?
Don't kick the door open on your mom mudding. Because the things you shouldn't have to say out loud.
The thing is, I've made that request, look, I'm having people over. I don't care what you do.
How many of your friends have seen your mom naked?
Vanessa has seen it twice. And then my friend Justin, who came...
My friend?
Yeah, and he came over for spring break just to hang at my house.
Yeah, he got confused. He thought it was Miami at your house.
And it was 3 o'clock in the morning, late or whatever, and she was just walking to the bathroom naked. And, she didn't want him. It was an accident.
Sure, she didn't.
The whole thing was, before that, I go, I don't give an F what you do, just as long as you keep your damn clothes on.
All right, you got a stranger in the house, staying with your son... And you're going to walk down the hall naked at any time? That's odd.
I think she's getting weird kicks out of this.
It drives me nuts.
Now, you have little brothers, too,
right?
Yeah,
I have 2 little brothers. One's 17, one 9.
Okay, and she's naked in front of the children.
Doesn't care. And I've had aunts talk to her about it. They're like, this is, she's just going, no, it's natural. I'm your mom. Yeah. I'm like, no, you can't just be waltzing around here.
You know what? It's naked for you to be naked when the children are born. But any time after that... When you got boys, you need to put the pants on.
INS is going to show up and take you away like your three little Ellie and Gonzales.
Somebody should take him away. He's told to be living at home.
And it's like she doesn't care about her nakedness, and then she's trying to like push that on everyone else. Like if I'm in, if I'm like in the shower or whatever, she'll just walk in. I'm like, get out, just get out.
So she's walking in on you naked.
Yeah.
What about?
You're living like you're in The Graduate, but with your own mom,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
You're in the movie Spank the Monkey, and you don't even know it. That's ridiculous.
All right. What about Papa?
No, Dad doesn't. I mean, the worst he'll do is just walk around in his drawers. But even when people are there, he won't. He's fully clothed.
But he ain't swinging his day.
No, he's just making.
I don't understand things.
No. It's just.
All right, 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. Maybe I'm a prude. Maybe I don't get it.
To me, the worst part, it can happen by accident. The worst part is that she just doesn't see that there's anything wrong with it. She doesn't have a problem with it. It's like nothing to her.
I don't understand this. In my family, we don't even take our shoes off in front of each other.
We requested. My grandfather just hates her for it.
Is it her daughter?
No. He's my dad's dad. He's annoyed with her because she'll do other things like just shave her legs on the balcony.
You think Grampy would like it? He's getting the free show.
Maybe your grandfather's gay.
That's
the way I'm taking it.
He had my dad, so I don't think... I hope not, but no, I don't...
Maybe your dad's adopted.
Regis has kids, but nobody thinks he's straight.
And Gelman's trying.
I think Gelman does have a baby.
Did they have one last year?
Yeah. Either that or they're just putting a puppy in a bassinet. They're those kind of weird people.
All right.
I don't get it at all. I mean, my home wasn't like that. Rory, what about yours? Lieutenant Rory.
A lot of nudity?
No nudity whatsoever. The worst thing that happened would be like my dad would walk around just with us around with no shirt on. But other than that, it was nothing.
All right, here's Perry. You're on Ron and Fez.
So you did get to see boobs.
Fez.
How are you?
I'm really good. But you know something? I do this all the time. I have a 17-year-old boy and a 16-year-old daughter. Now, I'm not around naked around their friends, but I've been in a gown when they've had their friends over. But my kids walk in that bathroom every time I'm naked. It doesn't matter. I'll have the door open. They come in, and then they yell at me, close the door, and I say, it's my bathroom. Get the hell out of here. It's my house. If I want to walk around naked, my kids can hurry up, grow up, and leave home.
You honestly think they can force themselves to grow older so they don't have to see their mom naked?
Well, you know something? It's a really funny thing. It's not like I'm parading myself around in front of them, but they make it a point. They know when everybody's showering. They know where somebody's going to the bathroom or something. And here it's like they were still 3 years old, and they still are there.
I'm very confused with this. You mean they're trying to see you naked?
I don't know if it's they're trying, but I think it's like, I think they are, what's the word? I think it's subconsciously. Normal? They know that mom's in the bathroom, or like my daughter, she freaks out. She's like, where's mom? Where's mom? My husband does this too. It's like, where are you? And where else could I be? I'm in the bathroom. Leave me alone.
But why don't you lock the door when you go into the bathroom?
Oh, it's a bathroom in my bedroom, and it's a bifold door. But I close my bedroom door. I've done that, too. We don't have locks on our bedroom doors.
She's just putting beads up.
No, we knock before we go in. I mean, that
doesn't seem like they are, though. You said they're constantly in your bathroom while you're naked.
Well, but they are. They do. It happens all the time, at least 2 or 3 times a week. Somebody says, oh, my God. And I'm like, it's my bathroom. Get out of here. What are you doing?
But the thing is, for me, none of us are trying to see it. We're doing everything we can to avoid it, but that bathroom is in the middle of our hallway.
It actually burns his eyes.
Well, I mean, I can understand that, but also, too, how old is Harry Elvis?
He's 20.
It's time, dude. You got to get out. It's your mom's house.
Well, that we can all agree on. It's the nudity we're debating.
Well, he understands that point. Here comes Billy Staples, who is 44 and still living home. So before...
You probably got something to say to him as well.
Before we start being tough on Billy, on Harry, let's see what his dad, Billy, thinks when the family's moving out of Mom's house.
You know, Harry,
you're in big trouble in the future because I'm 44 and I'm in therapy 3 days a week, and part of that is based on seeing my mother and sister walk around the house in their bra and panties. And my therapist says it has a lot to do with my problems now. You know, being the only male in the house and 2 women walking around like that. And you are even worse with the nudity.
All right, your mom was always walking around in bra and panties.
Yeah, and my sister, too.
Why does that make you crazy at 44?
Well, it just has to do with my my sexual vices or my, what I need. Like, I have a problem with women and drinking and women.
Out of the laundry list of things you have seen a therapist about, the menu that you put in front of your therapist, pick one item. Now it's that you have improper thoughts about your mom and your sister?
No, it wasn't that. It was just
when you were little.
Absolutely not. It was improper behavior on their part for someone as young as me to be walking around like that.
Now you feel like you were abused as a child.
Oh, I believe so, yeah. I was definitely an abused child.
Abuse?
I definitely was abused.
All right, let me ask you, Harry, do you see it as abuse?
It's not so. It's not so much abuse. It's just more that, we've asked her to stop and she won't. It's more that's really the issue. It's just that she won't stop. I mean, if she just walked around in bra and panties, I wouldn't care because we're so used to it by now. But
Billy wouldn't mind because your mom's actually younger than him at this point.
All right, maybe I'm off here. 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. All right, Billy, for you. And you're being serious?
I'm being dead serious. This has come up a lot of times in therapy.
All right, what if your mom was in a bathing suit? A bra and panties is still clothing.
Yeah, but
when Harry's going through.
Her bathing suit included the shower cap and a big umbrella.
Look, Harry still has 25 years to go of this to catch up. But I'm saying
maybe he'll move out, unlike you.
Let me clarify, Ron. I have moved out a number of times, but I've
rehabs. Every time you go to rehab, it doesn't count on you getting off on your own.
Changing addresses again?
I was out of the house when I was 19.
I just say this, Billy. I think that you can, get into therapy sometimes and just blame these little childhood things on things that you're not taking responsibility for. And I would tell that to your shrink.
Actually, I didn't blame it. As a matter of fact, she asked me about it if it ever occurred. Because I didn't bring it up. Because
these apps look for that right away. That's the first thing.
No, this was about
your childhood.
This was only about 8 months into my therapy that this came up. Because, I grew up where my bedroom was between my mother's and my sister's. And they would leave the doors open when they're getting dressed and stuff.
So you saw them naked?
Never saw them naked.
Billy Sandwich.
And it was very weird growing up a little boy and they had boyfriends or men friends or whatever,
But you're just looking for problems in therapy.
No.
Because, trust me, if I went to a therapist and the therapist said, Mother, I could give her 12 hours without even taking a breath.
Okay. Well, we have different lives, Fez. We're not the same person. We didn't grow up the same.
Oh, thank God.
All right, I guess to get back to the main point before we got off on the crazy therapy and Billy blaming everything on his mom, when at least she works and has a home. Is it kind of too weird? All right, Mikey's waving to me. What is it, Mikey?
Well, I walk around the house naked in front of Lene, and so does my wife, so does Helen.
How old is Lene?
She's 5.
All right, do you think a 5-year-old needs to be saying your D?
It's a beautiful thing. I mean,
he's so proud of his D.
The Golden Greek.
He is so proud of his D. I never met anybody like this. But does she ask you about it?
Just so you know.
She doesn't have an issue. She doesn't, she only, she'll laugh and, say, oh, look. She'll go, oh, look, there's Daddy's wormy. She calls it the wormy.
Oh, God.
See, I think
I'm uncomfortable.
I think it's bad for both your self-esteems. If she's having to look and you're hearing the word wormy.
Are you serious, Mike?
No, I am serious, yeah.
What do you do? And don't tell me get wood. I'll smack you with this.
No, I don't. I'm just walking around like, I usually sleep in the nude. So when I'm waking up or she comes into the bed, in the middle of the night, I'm naked.
Let me ask this. Is there bathing and showering together?
No.
What about with Helen?
With Helen there is.
Not you, I mean Lene.
Yes, with Lene. They take baths together.
When you're naked, does she sit on your lap?
No, nothing like that.
You know that's improper, right?
I know that's improper.
All right, so we all agree that there's improper stuff. You're just on a whole different, scale than
I'm on a different tangent.
Thank you for finding a line.
Yeah, I just wanted to know where does it stop?
I appreciate that much.
But I'm not embarrassed by it, so, I mean...
Not embarrassed by what part?
By walking around naked in front of her.
No one said you're going to be embarrassed to her. You got a huge Johnson. No one's going to be able to measure up in her head because at the size she is now, That thing's a rope.
All right, so she especially compared to the boys in class.
And she's about eye level with it.
So it's right there.
With the wormy.
Well, you see,
Meet the dragon.
That's good because one of the kids in her class showed her his wormy, so she was able to come and say something to it.
All right.
To it.
Well,
she talks to the wormy.
Step up to the mic. Wormy.
Step up to the mic, Harrison. All right, Freud. You left that one up.
To me.
Yes.
You know, she'll say that to me. So at least I know she knows what's going on and what's proper and what's not proper.
I'm shocked by this behavior, but Mikey D, I have to tell you, your daughter goes to her teacher or the principal and says, I saw Wormy last night. You're getting hauled away, or the kid's getting taken away.
You know, maybe
no, she won't do that.
They take kids away for any reason anymore.
Maybe it's because I was born in PA and I'm practically a pilgrim, but this is way far away from my whole life.
Could you ever imagine?
Hell no.
Picture your own dad walking around with Wormy.
No.
It's impossible.
Let me tell you, my dad used to wear a tie until he went to bed. He came home in a tie, wore it through the meal, and as he watched TV.
Lene thinks that. It's just that he wears it around his waist.
Oh, she better not.
No.
You better not teach her to tie a knot. Hey, Mike, you're on Fez.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Go ahead.
Hey, man. Can you smack him for me, man?
Which one?
Mikey D.
All right, the Mikey D thing of him walking around in front of his 5-year-old.
Yeah, man, that's not right. I got children, man, and once they get, 2 or something like that, you cover up.
At 2, they start asking questions. Trust me.
Exactly. As soon as you get the question, cover it up.
Isn't it healthy for her to ask the question for me than anybody else?
Question.
What is the question you want to know?
Well, what is that,
Well, here's the thing. Can she stay a kid a while?
And why does it
before she starts worrying about D's? Don't we have another 13 years before? All right, and even if you want to cut it earlier, 10 years, 11 years.
I just think it's it's a natural thing. I mean, there's nothing.
You're practically a nudist.
I'm not a nudist, but I mean, again, I don't consciously walk around saying, "Oh, I want to be naked in front of Lene." But if I'm going into the shower, I disrobe in my bedroom and I have to walk to the shower naked.
Down the hall.
Yeah, down the hall.
Here's the thing, Mike.
Just doing a whirly-copter act.
That's going to rub off on Lene.
It better not.
I didn't mean it that way.
We all went the same way.
But because, my little brother now, I'm in the shower, he's just walking in there because he's accustomed to that from her now.
Yeah, well, I don't have as much problem with that as you and your brother being... in the bathroom at the same time or whatever. That's just like being in school.
You got the same parts. We're talking about an adult and a child.
What's your mom? 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. And, Mikey, I know with the hair and you're a drummer and, the whole Aruba thing. I know you go to nudist beaches.
Yeah.
None of that. I think they go there thing. But I wouldn't have thought that you would have been walking around naked in front of little Lene.
I do. And again, it's not something that I make myself do it. It's just natural.
Wear some pants. I mean, put on some shorts or something.
I don't understand that. It's natural. It's natural that you drop mud, but you're not going to do that in the yard for people.
But I close the door when I go to the bathroom. I don't let her come in.
But that's why I don't fall for that. It's natural. I never understood that. We have rules in this society, as odd as they may be. And her rules are now going to be different. She'll be saying to her little friends, how when your dad's walking down the hall and his dink is bouncing, and they're all going to be appalled. And then they call her whore or slut or whatever kids do. They kick her in the shins, and she never makes a friend in the world.
I know. Why don't you just go ahead and install a Barbie's dancing pole in her bedroom right now?
Maybe that's why she has separation anxiety, because she never wants to leave. I don't know.
Yeah, she misses the day.
It could be.
This is Willie, or Wakey, Wormy.
Here's Michael. You're on Fez.
Hey, Michael.
Hey. First-time caller, guy.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, that's kind of sick. Now, it's a little girl.
A 5-year-old girl.
That's a grown man. He shouldn't be walking around in front of his daughter.
But Mikey's saying it's natural. Mikey, will there ever become an age where you won't do this?
Well, I won't do it in front of her friends or anything like that.
I mean in front of her, like when she's 15?
I probably won't. No, I'll probably still stay the same. I'll do whatever I want to do. If she's living in my house, I'll do whatever I want to do.
All right, so anyone who comes into your home...
I love this whole house excuse.
I know. I don't understand that at all. If you happen to be in someone else's house or that person's paying rent... you have to put up with the crazy rules that they make.
I've never enjoyed this power where I can put someone out of the house because my buns are hanging out. How nice.
And at 15, it's not like you could just leave the house. You know, she's stuck there. It's not by choice that she's around her naked dad.
We learned tonight you can't do it at 44.
His therapist 3 times a week is working on that. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jeff.
You know, people need to realize that this is traumatic to kids. I saw my mom one time when I was a teenager. I saw her chest, and I thought I was going to die. I was blind for like an hour.
It was like looking into the sun.
Yeah.
One Sunday morning, we were getting ready for church. I walked into my mom's room, and I saw her trying to squeeze into one of those girdles that has the snaps at the bottom where you attach the garters to. I thought someone was putting her in a torture rack.
All right, Fez, now I really want you to think back and try to, see it now as you are now.
Okay.
And isn't it true that wasn't your mom, but your dad getting into the girdle?
Oh, my God, the bald spot.
Yes.
The bald spot.
Yes.
I saw it from behind.
That's why it was so traumatic.
It was father.
Hey, Tammy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Tammy.
Hey, Ron and Fez.
Hey, baby.
I have to say that I do have a bad habit of leaving the bathroom door open.
A bunch of animals.
Now, who's all in your family? What do you have here?
I have 2 boys. I have an 11-year-old and a 16-year-old.
And you're sitting there on the toilet in front of... And look, Mikey's just nodding his head like he understands.
Well, generally I have a robe on, so it's not like I'm sitting there totally nude. But it is a bad habit. I think it comes from being raised with just my mother and my sister, and we never thought you had to shut the door.
All right, you know what? I grew up in a very safe neighborhood, but when I'm in other neighborhoods, I'll lock the door. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I've learned as I've grown along, hey, not every place is as safe as my neighborhood. I'm in Hong Kong. I'm going to bolt the door tonight. I just don't think, hey, I grew up without locking the door. I'll lay down here. No, you adjust. That's what a human experience is.
I'll tell you what, I don't go into a bathroom that I don't treat it like a panic room. Because I cannot be disturbed. I have to have silence in there. And anytime I visit my family, I swear, they won't ask me a question until I'm behind that bathroom door.
Suzanne, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Suzanne.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
I think you guys got it wrong here. I mean, you're sexualizing everything. It's natural for your body, and as a child, grows up, it shows them what's natural and normal. You stop being naked in front of your kids when they find modesty and they find, that they're uncomfortable with it. If you're like that with them, then you're making them feel bad about their bodies.
I'm uncomfortable with it, and she won't put her clothes on.
Oh, you now? Yeah, of course. But I mean, overall, with kids when they're younger, no.
All right, Suzanne, are you kind of a nudist or?
No, not at all.
All right.
I feel that if you teach your children that their bodies are bad, that's where you end up in therapy.
Okay.
But the day that it comes, if they start to be uncomfortable being naked in front of you or you being naked in front of them, then, of course, you change your behavior. But to say, okay, a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, that they're too old to be in front of their parents while their parents are naked, my kids are just fine, and they're 14 and 16 now.
We've made requests both verbally and written.
All right, you stay out of this, and we're learning from somebody, okay? All right, so, Suzanne, your kids are fine with it?
Straight A students, great kids. Okay?
I'm not saying that people are going to get bad grades because they saw Mikey's D.
They were around their father and me until, God, one was 6 and one was 8. And then, well, it's almost 8. And his daughter was like, well, it's my stepkid. So his daughter was like, embarrassed and shy. She got shy with her body.
Right.
When we saw that, then we said, okay, well, we maybe should not do that in front of them. But they've never had any issues or anything.
You were actually in front of someone else's kids naked.
That should be illegal.
But I raised them.
Great. Okay. All right, thank you very much, Suzanne. Here's Fred. Fred is a nudist. Fred, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Fred, the nudist.
Hi, first-time caller.
Nice.
I've been listening to you guys for many years here when you were on late at night, and I kept wishing that you guys would fill in for the people who were on in your time slot.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's start fresh day. You're a nudist?
Yes, I am, and I just wanted to pitch in pretty much what that last caller said, Suzanne. I don't have kids myself, but I know many couples who do and who raise them as nudists. And oftentimes there's a stage in their teenage lives where they're uncomfortable with it, and, that's okay. And, the parents understand that. Sometimes they go right through that. I know a couple who's
I never
gone to college and has been nudist all their lives, and they go to the house naked.
All right, Fred. Now, why be a nudist at all? How does it help? What are the rest of us missing that we're not naked in front of our children?
What do you get out of it?
Well, like I say, I don't have children, so it's not being naked in front of the children, but it's basically just it's one of those things you have to do it to find out. You have to experience it to know how.
I've been naked in the shower.
Sure.
No problems there.
Sure.
And then I put on clothes when I leave the bathroom.
Well, you know,
that's a good plan, you ask me.
We like to say that if God had meant us to be naked, we'd have been born that way. And
yeah, but
what it boils down to, we learn the thing about the attachment to clothes as we grow up, and it's not something that's stuck and branded in our brains to the point where we can't.
I understand that, but in the age, hold on for a second, Fred. In the time of our history as a species, when we were all naked in front of each other, we were also free just to hump on whoever we wanted to.
Sure.
Nobody really paired off or had possessions.
Well,
we basically lived like dogs.
I sort of doubt that. I mean, you and I weren't around then, but I don't think human nature has changed all that much since then. And there are still societies today who go through their entire lives naked, especially in the Amazon jungles. For
Exactly. Yeah, but and also look at the area. Look at their life. Other than being naked, give me one positive thing about that society. You know, they live to be 30.
Possessions of the equipment that you're eating at that moment.
You go down there with a lighter, and they'll end up bowing to you, and everybody's calling you the Grand Poobah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, thank you, Fred. And I realize there's a lot of nudist people out there. And you're just kind of on the fringes. You go to nude beaches, right?
I have, yeah. But I won't bring Lene to that.
Why? You only want her to see your D.
Because that's strangers. Those are strangers.
She should only see your D.
Well, she should
only.
only.
Getting any strange.
I should only be natural in front of her as well as her mother. That's what I think. If she's going to learn the body.
You don't bang other chicks?
Sorry?
You don't bang other chicks?
Not in front of Lene.
Oh, okay.
We found the cutoff.
Again, there's a spot. There's, we agree to a point, and then we just kind of go on different roads.
Well, it's hard when you're growing up. As sort of clothing compulsive, as you might say, to then turn around and as a parent adopt nudism unless you've already had some history of easing into it yourself. And then
I'll
you
only
find
go
out
to
how
a fully
natural
clothed
it is.
beach.
And you pass that on to your kids, and they feel the same way.
All right, Fred?
Yeah?
When you go to a nude beach, nothing sexual takes place, or you don't hook up with chicks later?
That's right. In fact...
I never understood this.
I don't understand how you could not actually start spending that attention at a nude beach.
Until you've done it. It's basically... It's pretty much just as natural as any other clothing beach, and if anything, it's less sexual because there's nothing hidden. There's nothing sort of left to the imagination.
I don't know if I want less sexual things in my life.
Also, that sort of behavior on those beaches is the fastest way to get those beaches illegal. So, dyed-in-the-wool nudists know if there's anybody coming around here, trying to start something sexual...
Now, how could you be a dyed-in-the-wool nudist?
Sorry?
How could you be a dyed-in-the-wool nudist?
Defeats the purpose.
That was an interesting phrase, wasn't it?
Yeah, Fred, I understand that there's a lot of people out there like you. I never really learned much about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I'm, half a Puritan. I just feel like, all right, we're all getting naked. Who's getting effed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we recap what we have in here, we have Harry Elvis, whose mom walks around naked, not every day, but time to time in front of him and his brothers. And Harry is a guy who hates the thought of disrobing. Taking off a shirt for him would be murder.
Yeah, I don't like any nudity at all that is unnecessary.
And Fred, what do you think about this, that Billy Shrink told him that the reason why he's such an F-up alcoholic and overeater is because...
Drug addict.
He sold panties in a bra once.
Because he did what?
He saw his mom and sister in panties in a bra.
Well, now that can be traumatic if you're, like I say, if you're raised, in a very closed, rigid sort of way in which nobody is ever naked, and then suddenly, you see your parent naked, and you're in your teens, you're just blossoming into your own sexuality.
For Billy, it was like seeing Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, if we're all naked and your grandmother going, oh, man, your teeth's getting big. All right, thank you very much, Fred. I don't know, Mikey.
Then on the other end of the spectrum, we have Mikey D, who has no problem parading around nude in his own house in front of his 5-year-old and actually thinks it's healthy for her.
Here's Jake here on Run of Fez.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, my buddy.
But as far as the argument for it's natural to be nude, I mean, I think that's kind of a cop-out. Because, honestly, if it was just about what's natural, then everybody with poor eyesight, well, it's natural to have poor eyesight. We shouldn't put on glasses.
Hey, well, exactly. It's natural to walk. Why have a car? You just
Right,
can't.
exactly.
You know, the fact that we're all dropped here bare-ass doesn't mean that we don't try and move on from there.
See, the thing is that what's great is about the way we are created is that people were created to be able to use their brains and adapt to their environment. We're weak animals. We don't have any hair. We ain't got any claws. We don't have any teeth.
Speak for yourself.
If our forefathers, if the beginning of our species said, well, hey, you know what? We were made this way. We came out naked. We'll go out naked. We'd all be extinct. We'd all died of hypothermia 400 million years ago.
Thank you very much, brother. Sit. You know, yeah, he's right about the whole natural thing. I mean,
but I don't
you
think
have heat in your home.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's getting the point. It's not like I'm walking around on the street and nude, or, well, I do tend to take off my shirt a lot, but, I mean, that has nothing to do with, like, walking around in front of my daughter. Again,
you're just so in love with yourself is your problem.
I just think when I was young and I saw my mom, it was like, it wasn't traumatic. It was just like a shock, yeah.
Oh, ever since you got your nose job, you think you're the hot stuff.
I just think it's okay for her to see me and my wife, right? But I mean, if she turns around and gets to be Elvis's age, of course, and says to me, "Listen, Dad, I'm getting a little uncomfortable with this," I have to respect her wishes. I would think, but if she's living in my house, you know, it's.
Now, does she ask?
Yeah, but you know, I never understand that she's living in my house. You know, there's sick people out there who think, you know what, she's living in my house, I should be able to F her. All right, they use the same exact argument.
That's how kids get beat.
Well, again, if I'm going from my bedroom to my bathroom and I just don't happen to have clothes on.
How hard is it to throw a towel? A robe. A robe. You know what? You go to a Kmart right now, a robe will probably cost you $9. You can wear it for 6 years.
I love a
before
robe.
anybody will bitch.
I wear a robe over a tux. I love it that much.
It's very comfortable. You're bouncing around underneath of it. You're fine.
Basically, if I don't think she has a problem, if she doesn't have a problem with it, then that's how it'll remain the same.
You don't know if she does now. I say put away some therapy money every week because you're going to need it, my friend. Dwayne, you're on Ron and Fez.
Send her with Uncle
Hey,
Bill.
Ron and Fez.
Or then again, I could be completely wrong.
Hey, Dwayne.
Either way, I don't know.
I just wanted to say, first off, I would never get naked. Nobody wants to see my big white Casper buttocks. But I agree with Mikey D simply because you look at all the other countries that allow sexuality to just run amok. I mean, we are so repressed in America, and if you look at our sexual offenders in this country, they're much more. It's a much higher thing.
Hey, Dwayne, do you think maybe it's because we report it in this country, unlike a lot of the Caribbean countries where it's put up with?
Or England, where they just finally started chasing it in the past 2 years.
I would not say that we're so far advanced in our government that no other countries report it. When you look around and you see the commercials on other from other countries, have you ever met anyone from another country? The sexuality just flows out.
What country
are
we?
Afraid of it.
What? All right, wait. You're saying yes? You agree with this?
Yeah, because I lived in England, and England is all like that.
So now you're seeing this as sexuality in front of your daughter, or
no? I'm seeing it.
Two different arguments.
No.
How are we sexually repressed? What are we doing wrong here?
No, we hide everything. I mean,
we hide our dinks. What's the big deal there?
If I saw my mother naked, I'm telling you, I'd drop dead right now because I'm.
I understand, Dwayne, but what is it that they're doing right that we're doing wrong here? What am I missing?
It's kind of like, Ron, if you were never allowed to smoke, you're never allowed to smoke. Don't smoke, don't smoke. As your child, what do you want to do? You want to smoke. It's because you want to rebel against that. And it's the same thing with kids that aren't introduced to sexuality, don't understand what's going on. They want to do it. Let's go have sex with the first guy I see because I'm not allowed to talk.
So they're not doing that in France. They're not doing this in I don't even know what countries you guys are talking about. England.
You've never seen those commercials that come on on HBO that say, banned from America, the commercials that they show, and they're very, very sexual.
I know in England, like, advertisements can have a lot more sex and not as much swearing. Like British television.
What are you saying by sex? They're showing people naked? They're showing people having sex?
More nudity and less swear words. We're a little bit more the opposite.
You could show, like, a bare breast on, like, a watch ad.
All right. All right, thanks. But no, we're all sitting here still calling a breast or an ass sexual, right?
The way
it can't be in front of your daughter, right, Mikey?
Well,
I don't
no.
understand. I'm lost here.
I'm not sexually, advancing towards my daughter. I'm not doing it.
I know that.
I'm not doing it to be sexual in front of her. I'm just doing it because
You're
I
lazy.
feel I'm
You're too damn lazy to put on a towel.
That's really lazy.
I just feel like I'm comfortable enough to do that in front of her in our confines, in our house.
All right, now, let's go back to Harry, who was raised this way, and you said you find it traumatic. It's even though you're raised in some kind of European style that Dwayne was talking about, it's not good for you.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all helpful. It's not freeing in any kind of capacity. It's just an awful experience, and it's just it's tension.
Mikey D, if you look at the two examples that we have to show you, you have Harry Elvis, who grew up that way.
Right.
All right, and he is pretty much he's a kid who doesn't he's afraid of women. All right, still at this point.
Right.
He doesn't like to disrobe, and he eats rice pudding by the pan. All right?
Okay.
The other example you have to look at, who claims he was raised the same way as your daughter, is Nutsy McGillicuddy over there on the phones, Billy Staples, who saw his mom and sister near naked and is now in therapy 3 times a week and eating Xanax out of a Pez dispenser.
Well, I think the generation gap there with their parents and me being a parent, it makes a lot of difference. Because I think I'm more of a today guy, and
Yeah, you are. You're mod. You're now.
I'm mod.
All right, let's see what Lene says to her dad about it.
Get your boys out.
All right, that's wrong. That's wrong. All right, Paranoid has some advice for you, Harry. Harry, of course, who sees his mom naked all the time. What do you think, Paranoid?
Okay, you say you've brought it up to her that it makes you uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, many times.
Okay, and she still won't do anything about it, right?
Yeah, just
Dude,
continues.
you got to put the ball back in her court. She's like just having fun with you, dude. Next time she does it, you just get naked and start exploring your body, dude. And you make her, you put it all on her.
This is a plan.
Run a hot batch on her and see how she likes it.
See then if she appreciates nudity.
It's natural.
She would probably stop, but I don't think that would help matters.
I think you're wrong. I think you don't want to try things.
Wouldn't that create more problems? Wouldn't that be a problem where now I'm the sick one?
It might get everybody dressed again. It might get clothes back on this family. I thought Paranoid's idea was going to be grab a video camera.
Here's Tommy Gunn, you're on Fez.
Tommy Gunn.
Gas card over 16818.
There's your hooah.
Hey guys, I think it's all in the way you're raised. I was around my mother. She was nude a lot. She was sick as I was growing up, so I pretty much had to take care of her in the evenings and things. So I dress her for bed and stuff like that. Never once did I have a crazy idea. She was always open with us and always answered any questions we had and things like that. So, I agree with Mikey D that it's all in the way you're raised and,
All right, thank you very much, Tommy. A lot of people do agree with Mikey. Here is Sean. Sean, you're on Fez.
Hey, fellas, what's up?
Hey, my man.
Card holder 13406. Yeah, my parents were like late model hippies, always trying to walk around naked, and even as a little kid, I never liked it. And they were always carrying on, you're just being repressed. No, I'm not being repressed. I don't want to see your naked ass walking around the house. And I'm tired of people talking about Europe and how much more progressive they are, because you're right, they don't get excited about nudity. They get excited about dogs and bodily functions.
I don't know much about it to comment on the whole thing. I don't know about Europe. I just know here in the States. And do I think that we're probably a repressed society? Yeah, but the kid's born into it.
I don't know. Again, she has no problem with it. I think she's
5. Why would she have a problem with what her parents do? Kids who get smacked by their parents don't have a problem with it. They're not at the point where they can express themselves to say what's right and what's wrong.
The picture of her parents right now, she'll never tell you at this age that you're wrong. She can't imagine that you would be wrong.
How would she know? She has nothing to compare it to.
And that's the beauty of it. It's not wrong. I don't think it's wrong.
That's the beauty of you.
All right, we got to take a break.
Welcome back to the Ron and Fez Show. Happy Fat Tuesday, everyone, or as Mikey D's daughter calls it, Nude Tuesday, which is followed by Nude Wednesday, Nude Thursday, and Nude Friday.
Mikey D is, a little more free than the rest of us. He wasn't raised in our Puritan environment. My parents are Quakers, so it made it a little different. I never saw my dad with the buckle off his hat. This is all new to me.
Mikey D was raised like Mowgli in the Jungle Book.
Actually, I wasn't. I mean, again, my parents didn't disrobe in front of me, and again, when I saw
They were Greek. How could you tell? How could you tell they were naked?
I just wanted to change that old generation, that old thinking type that the body is bad or whatever and all that.
Yeah, those old thoughts of, hey, don't show the winky to this 5-year-old. Yeah, you're changing the world.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm going, hey, get a load of this.
866-277-4969.
Here's Jessica. You're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah.
I've never heard you guys before, and that was a hilariously entertaining conversation.
We're really funny, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're nice, Jessica.
Yeah.
Great topic, too. I walk out the door of getting naked for a living and come upon this discussion. It was perfect timing.
Oh, you're a stripper?
Yes.
Where do you peel?
Pardon?
Where do you work?
In D.C.
Oh, Fuzzy. Very
I don't know
nice.
where you guys even are. Where are you?
We're in Fairfax.
Right.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so you're pretty local then. I
Sure.
work at Good Guys.
Oh, nice.
And a
Good
couple of
guys.
things. I didn't even really want to talk about that, but when I lived in San Francisco, I turned 21 and moved to San Francisco from Maryland. And, little hippie kid, I'm 33 now, but little hippie kid, and the second apartment we lived in was teeny, teeny, tiny. So, in fact, you walked in the front door, and you were in the living room. The hallway from the living room to the bedroom was the bathroom. You get me? And so, you got to go into the bedroom, and so you're walking through the bathroom with your sink and toilet on the right and your tub on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And to make more room in the living room, try to long story short we took the door off and just hung a curtain on that side. It made a huge difference not having that whole space where the door opened and closed. It was the most interesting sociological experiment ever, and we didn't intend it to be. It's just two people living there, a couple, share the bedroom, no problem being naked in front of each other, no kids. But when people came over, it was fascinating to see who pulled the curtain and who didn't. And let me tell you, it was totally interesting. Obviously, we're just talking about going quick pee here. The other part, one of the bathroom, you wouldn't really want to do that without closed doors. But it was amazing.
I would pull the curtain. I have no problem with this. I'm pulling the curtain when I vote and when I pee.
Even around, I don't know.
All right, Jessica, do you think Mikey D is in the right to go naked in front of his 5-year-old?
I was trying to think about that, like if I ever saw my dad naked.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember seeing his buns a couple times when maybe I walked in the bedroom, their bedroom, parents' bedroom, maybe without knocking something. It was always really embarrassing. But I grew up pretty darn comfortable in my own skin before I started dancing. I was an art model, and you just, I think even though, there's nothing wrong with being naked in front of your kids. She's 5 now. If she's, 12, those teenage years, that would be awkward for me once you start.
You said you're not going to stop then, though, right, Mikey?
I'm not going to stop.
You said that if
do it at a wedding.
Expresses discomfort, you might stop, but it is, after all, your house.
See,
Right.
I think people are really underestimating 5-year-olds here.
I think she's mature enough to know. That it's not a sexual thing. Again, I'm not being sexual in front of
No,
you.
you're walking from the bathroom, from your bedroom to the bathroom and back. I have a hard time putting on clothes to do that, no matter where I am. And that's not just from being a dancer.
See, that is the peeler agrees with you, the stripper.
She dances under the name Kate Ashbury.
Although, I'll say this.
Fun, you guys.
I am starting now to understand why they never hand a stripper a microphone.
Why they have DJs and strippers.
Right. Hey, look at me, everybody. No, that's not. That kind of takes the fantasy and fun out of it.
What?
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, not you. A different stripper.
No, we're just kidding, honey. So the peeler agrees with you.
That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
That's not a problem with me.
All right, see you later. Bye-bye, Jessica.
Bye, you guys.
Hey, come see us some night, all right? Drive over and see us. Or I may get ones. I want to just have a lot of ones for when she comes in.
No problem.
Here's Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, you're on Ron and Fez.
Good, a child expert.
I just wanted to say that my wife, Camille, does not want to see my chocolate pudding pop.
All right.
So, what makes you think that my kids want to see it either?
All right. Thank you very much, Bill. Always remember where the punchline is and don't go past it. Chocolate pudding pop, I think, would have been the punchline there. I always like when somebody calls in doing an impression to not hang up and just leave them. Where's the keys? Is the general.
And that's a guy who put together the Fat Albert cartoons.
That's right. Oh, that's the same guy?
Yeah, Bill Cosby.
See, I didn't know that.
Yes.
No, see. Here's Will. Will, you're on Ron and Fez.
Will, go ahead.
Yeah, long time, first time. Listen, you know, I haven't thought about it in years and years until you guys started talking about it tonight, but my mom and dad used to cruise around the house in au naturel, and I'll tell you what, man, it was not a pleasant thing. And I'll tell you, as I got older, it wasn't a thing where I could just say to mom and dad, hey, put some clothes on. It was uncomfortable for me, and it was more uncomfortable to say, put some clothes on. You know, so I don't know if she's gonna. You know, she's 5 years old now. I got kids now, and
I think what she's basically trying to say is help or save me.
She's crying it.
I mean, I wouldn't think about walking, you know, parading around au naturel in front of my kids, and you know, it's just I don't know whether the 5-year-old is gonna one day say, hey, Dad, you know, put some clothes on, because there's a comfort factor, and Dad should know what's best, and you know, I have to disagree.
All right, thank you very much, my friend.
All right.
I just think they take kids for any reason anymore. They don't need that much of an excuse. You know, kid gets smacked, that kid calls someone or tells someone they're showing up to take that kid. Mikey D, you don't need to run those risks.
Well,
you do enough nutty things putting her in a tiger cage.
She's not a girl that's going to go to school and start...
She's not going to squeal.
She's not going to squeal. No.
She's going to tell the sadness doctor.
You know, here's the bottom line on this. You shouldn't be naked in front of a kid unless that kid's retarded. And then it don't matter.
Well, you know what? That's a good rule to live by.
Then it don't matter.
They don't know what they're looking at.
No.
Besides, they'll pull their own out any second anyway.
Sure. Howard Stern, Don and Mike, Bill O'Reilly, Ron and Fez, and the Washington Redskins. 106.7 WJFK.